Okay. All right, so I'm going to start my recording, and what we're going to do here is we're going to start creating some blend shapes for our character. So I started by selecting the main body geometry and the two eyes and duplicating them and moving them up to create the bridge. I've already renamed it Bridge BSGeo. And I also went in, because I'm duplicating the eyes, when you duplicate them, they also take with them the constraints that are under the original geometry for the eyes. And so I went ahead and just deleted those constraints. Here, let me get rid of these extra things here. So just for the sake of not having a bunch of extra constraints in my scene, I went ahead and deleted these. And this is my my bridge, right? We've done this before with the squid, nothing new here. So what I want to do here, I want to reference my list, right? I have right brow up, left brow up, right brow down, left brow down, right eye, left eye, etc. Right? So I'm going to start at the top, right brow up, left brow up. And again, with symmetry turned on, Object X symmetry, right? Or you can Control Shift right click, symmetry, activate that, and put it on the X axis, right? Everything we do will happen to both sides. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to create my right brow up, left brow up. Okay, these are two separate blend shapes, but for the sake of symmetry, we want to do them together. And so I'm just going to go like this, you know, create the shape that I want. And that'll do, right? It's going to do both sides, right? It should look good together. And you want to make sure to have the eyes in there for the sake of making sure that you don't have any shape that causes the eyes to go through the lids or anything like that, right? Okay. That's going to come into play a lot more when we do the eyelids closing and opening, you know, things like that, right? Okay. So I have this created, and what I want to do is I want to I actually should have duplicated from this, but that's okay. We can do the first one to the main character. It's not that big of a deal. So what I want to do is I want to take this bridge and I'm going to shift click my main character and I'm going to create a blend shape. So deform blend shape, or I can go in to my shape editor and create blend shape just like that, right? And you can see that it applies. It works. Okay, so I'm going to have that turned on, and because we're doing this on the main character, I don't recommend doing it on the main character. I should have duplicated off of the bridge, but for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and work with what I have here. But what we're going to end up doing here with all of these symmetry blend shapes is we're going to select the whatever it's being attached to. Okay. For future ones, we're going to do it on the bridge, but in this case, it's on our main character. And we're going to go to deform down to weights, where it says paint weights, and go to blend shape. I'm going to pull up in my options box for that for the sake of my tool settings. Okay. Now what this does, and I don't remember if we went over this paint blend shape weights tool before or not, but what this does is it allows you to deactivate or activate or paint or whatever. Oops. Turn off my NURBS curves. Turn off the weighting, right? So I'm going to set this with a hard brush and replace it with a value of 0. And all I'm going to do is paint out the side that I don't want to have activated. So you'll see that as I paint this, the raised brow starts to go away. And I don't want to go into the center line. Okay, this is for the sake of this, I want to make sure it's a nice clean left side, right side. Know what I mean? So I'm going to scale this down a little bit, hold down B to scale your brush down. And I don't have to do the entire side of the face. I just want to make sure that everything that's been moved for the blend shape has been painted out. So all I have here is the left side raised. Right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take these 3 objects. I'm going to duplicate them again. And because I duplicated from the main skinned character, this is the one. Because I duplicated from the main skinned character, it has all of the attributes locked. So this is why I don't want to do this here. But when you duplicate the bridge, you'll have to do this anyway. But I'm going to highlight all of these, right click, and unlock selected. Okay, so this is going to be, this is my my duplicated. Make sure you're only doing the duplicated one. You don't want to do this. You don't want to unlock the skinned joints. Okay, make sure that when you reselect this, that you're doing the right joints. Okay, so here is. This is what I should have done. Oh, and I'm going to duplicate the main eyes also. Let me just hide the ones. I should have already done that. Oh yeah, these are the duplicate eyes. Okay. All right. So this is, it gets confusing when you have duplicated versions. Okay. So the ones that have the diamond on them, those are your referenced ones. We don't want to take those away. Okay, so here's the duplicated ones. I'm going to get rid of those. And I'm going to take these along with my duplicated skin. I'm going to move it up. And this is the left brow up. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move this off to the character's left side. Now, the eyes, the way they've been created, when they are directly selected, one of the eyes moves the opposite direction because of its orientation and things like that. But I don't want to, again, I don't want to freeze transformations on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to group this and move the group over so that they can move together, so that the eyes move with the character. Okay. So it's a little bit of a pain to deal with, but we can, you know, it's not that hard. Okay. Now that I have this left brow up done, I go back to, I can hit Y to reselect my last selected tool, or if it's not here, I can go back and reselect it under Paint Weights, Blend Shape on the Deform menu. Okay. And I want to set my value to 1 and flood it. Boom. Now it's back. I set my value back to 0 and paint the other side out. Right? So this is how you get symmetry in your blend shapes. So I'm just going to paint this side out. I always go around the eye just to make sure that I have caught everything. I'm going to take these again Duplicate. I'm going to Shift P to unparent. I'm going to get rid of those constraints. Won't have to do this anymore after this, but this way I'll do it from the bridge. I won't have to do this every time. I have to unlock these attributes again for the duplicated geometry. I'll go ahead and group it. I'll move that up to the other side. Again, where you put these doesn't matter, right? But I have the right brow up. I have the left brow up. I have 2 of these on here with this geometry. Oh, I hit a button somewhere. I hit 2 or something. Yeah, I did. I hit 2. I wasn't seeing the full wireframe. Okay. So now that I have my left brow up, I have my right brow up. What I want to do here is I want to come back here. And technically, I could just delete my blend shape. And it'll go back to normal. And I'm just going to bring my hair back because everything I'm going to do now is from the bridge. All right, so, but I need a new bridge because this one's now sculpted on and I can't undo the sculpt. So I'm just going to delete this. That's fine, not a problem. Duplicate again. Unparent. Take out my locked attributes. Unlock. I'm going to get rid of my constraints on the eyes. I'm going to group that. Move it up. This is my new bridge. Okay, as I said before, it doesn't matter how many times you delete blend shapes and stuff like that. You can always create them again. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and name this bridge underscore BS for blend shape underscore geo. I'll name these later. But everything that I do, and everything that I do will come from this bridge now. Okay. So get rid of that. Unparent Shift P. For that group. Another group there. Yep. All right. Okay. So now that I've done my brows up, I want to do my brows down. All right. So I'm going to start on my bridge. This is easier. You want to go from here. All right. So I'm going to go to my faces here. I have my symmetry still on. I want to make him look angry. Again, you don't want to go too far. You don't want to break into the plane of the eyelids. And, you know, just give him a little angry look. Watch out for that point there. I'm not liking that. But that's how that's looking. And I might take this a little farther. You know, just make him look angry. There we go. Or in this case, mischievous and evil. All right, so this is my... Dang it, I did it on the bridge again. Okay, let me undo that. I keep doing this. Let me go ahead and duplicate this. Control D to duplicate. Go straight up. And then make my shapes. Gotta get some caffeine or something. Okay. All right, so this is my duplicated browse down. Okay. Finally doing something right here. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my duplicated and apply my blend shape to my bridge. All right, so I'm just going to create blend shape. I'm going to turn it on. You can see that it's working. And with it on, I'm going to go back and hit Y or again, deform. Under paint weights, blend shape options, there it is. Set my value, replace, hard brush. Doesn't matter which side you paint out first. So I'm painting out his right side, which means that this is going to be duplicated and go to the left. Hey, Matt. So duplicate, group, and I'm going to take that up to the left. So that's his left brow down. Back to my bridge. Hit Y, value 1, flood, value 0, paint out the other side. Again, just covering all bases. There's that. His right brow is down. I'm going to duplicate, group, move it up and over to his right side. Again, I just organize my stuff right side, left side. Where you put your blend shape is up to you. Now that I have this, I have both the right and left side done. I can delete the blend shape. It takes the effect away from the bridge, and I don't need this guy anymore. I don't need my symmetry base anymore. Okay, so I can just delete that. And I'm going to go to my next one. I did left brow, or I did my brows down. Then I want my lids closed. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more interesting. I'm going to take my bridge, duplicate it. I'll go ahead and move it up. I don't technically have to group it because I'm going straight up. The eyes don't shift left and right as a result of that. Okay, so this is going to be my lids closed, right? Upper and lower. So what I'm going to do here, I have my symmetry on. I want to be very kind of specific about this because I want my lids to meet. You notice they have this edge loop here. I want this edge loop to come together right now. So what I'm going to do here, I could just scale it down, but you can see that's going to have some kind of a weird effect, right? I don't really want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select from here to here. And I'm going to go to a, I don't have to do this in a side view, but I'm gonna, with some X-ray apparently. And I'm going to set my pivot, actually I'll just do this here. Set my pivot in the center of the eye. Right? If I want to do that here, that'll make it easier. But I'm just going to hold down D. And you can see the eye here. I'm just going to, once I have that set, I'm going to rotate this down. I'm going to test it a couple of times, make sure I'm in the right place. And if I have to adjust the brush every now and then, that's okay. And I'm going to take the same to this side. Again, this is simply how I've decided to do this. Right? I don't necessarily have to do it this way, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold down D again. I'm going to move this to the center again. I'm going to rotate this up. I might need to go a little bit higher. And things are starting to not overlap well, so get it started. I may have to adjust on both sides. Again, it helps to have my soft select set to surface, not volume. If I have this set to volume, it's going to break through onto the other side of the lid, right? So I'll make sure it's only on attached faces, right? And if I have to, ultimately what I can do is kind of manually bring this up to meet a little bit, because when you do your blend shades for the upper lid and the lower lid, you want it to fit, you want it to meet. Once you get things lined up, then you could potentially take these together, scale them flat. Not completely, but do it a little bit, to get it close. You may have to make some slight adjustments here. But the idea is that you have a nice shape to round out the lid a little bit. All right. And again, I'm inserting no edge loops. I'm not deleting any edges. I'm not extruding. I'm not deleting faces. You know, everything has to be done with the exact same number of vertices. If I notice some sharp points on vertices or something like that, I might want to adjust their position or something. But for the most part, that'll kind of do. I have this little divot in here. Let me just get that. All right. So, and again, that's both sides. What I would probably do here is do a little bit of relax tool. Just to kind of like evenly distribute the edge loops. And a little bit there that I'm not happy with. That was really the reason why I brought this out. It's just a modeling tool, and I think that will do. Right there, a little bit more. Even distribution of geometry helps the look of it. All right, So now, so I have this. I'll go ahead and take this and create my blend shape. And you can see how that looks. Okay. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Not bad. Okay. But our blend shapes are right upper lid close, left upper lid close, right lower lid close, left lower lid close. What's up, Charlie?
How you know? You talk to yourself.
I'm making a video.
Cool.
Yep.
Something doesn't sound right here, so I want to check. Like one of them there is trying to fight himself.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go back to my my paint weights, blend shape options, right? And I'm going to do the same thing I did before, replace with 0. And it's going to be a little bit harder because I'm going to have to get in there in the nooks and crannies and, you know, deal with both sides, and deal with the eyes being, you know, the lids being so close together. But I can start one side, just kind of paint away. And I might want to hide my eyeball just to make sure that I've gotten everything. I haven't. So there's that, and there's that. All right, so that's one side, but this is still on a full blink, and I only want the upper lid, right? So, drink time. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to be a little bit more cautious. Start painting some things out. Just kind of working my way up to the vertex. And, you know, for the corners of the eyes, I could do a soft paint, right, just to give it a little bit of adjustment. And I can always hold down S to smooth it, just like I do with the actual weighting. If I screwed something up, I can always either smooth it or I can go back and adjust the value. And then once I have that mostly done, hide that eye and do it again with hard brush. I can even smooth with the hard brush, so I don't have to worry about that, right? And now that I have most of the lid, I'm just going to come back in and kind of fill in the rest down here. Just to make sure that that's all painted out, give them a nice black eye. unhide my eyeball, unhide my other eyeball, wherever that is. There it is. Duplicate that. That's his left lid, so I'm going to group that and move that up and over. That's that one. Actually, if I really wanted to, I could take this, now that I'm thinking about it, I could do both the upper lids at the same time so that I have the exact same weight painting. So let me see if I can do that. See if there's a mirror here. There's not. So technically what I could do is take what I probably should have done. It's not that big of a deal, but if I wanted this to be exactly the same on both sides, I could paint out both the lower lids, duplicate it, and then paint out one side and then paint out the other side. That way I have exactly the same upper lid shapes on both the right side and the left side. I should have done that, but not that big of a deal. I'll go ahead and just duplicate this. Did I already? Yeah, I did. Okay. I'll just take that. And duplicate it and group it. Move it up and over. I'll do that right there. And reselect value 1. I'm not going to flood this. I'm just going to paint this in. You could flood it. It might make things easier. To have it on and then paint it off. That might be the case, but I'm just going to smooth it in. Holding down Shift. Hide my eye. That'll do for that side. So that one's painted in. And I want this to be painted out. So, yeah. And again, I'm just going to hide this eye. Make sure that the entire eye socket is done. It is. bring my eyes back. Shift H. Duplicate it. Group it. And I'll just bring that up there. So now I have my left lid closed, left upper lid, right upper lid. And I'll go ahead and flood this with 1. And I'll do what I did before, what I said I should have done, which is I'm going to duplicate my, actually, no, let me think. I'm going to do this on both at the same time, but I need both my lids to be open. Yeah, so that's what I'll do. I'll paint out this lid. Try the whole thing. In both sides. Now for this one, I'm going to activate reflection in my stroke. So it's going to do both sides together. So that's what I should have done before. And again, it doesn't really matter that I didn't. It just won't be exactly the same. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little break. I'll paint that in when I get back. I'm just going to stop my recording. That way I'll be able to post this sooner, and then we'll keep going. All right, be back shortly.